wanted to first start asking you, like, having been a DJ since 1999, like, what has
Uh,
been sort of your musical journey till now?
well, it has always been about the going out to play commercial music, people's song and all that. I've been always wanting to record my own songs, but I wanted to do it right. I wanted it to make sense and also to be able to to be able to have a relationship with the artist. It was a bit difficult from the beginning, and also how to monetize it and everything. Like I didn't know my back ends and all that, so it took me some time to get myself together. But it's always been on the road playing, the normal like backtrack and all that. But this time around, I started putting singles out about 3 years ago, and then what you have now, Say I Do, is my latest project. So that is what it has been. This is my fourth single.
Yeah, and it's a really great catchy song. And I was
Okay.
also wanted to ask you like a bit about if the industry has changed at all since you started.
Yes, it's changed so much. Back then it was very difficult to get Afrobeat playing outside the country. We actually started doing native songs, which is high life, and it changed to a bit of it changed to to hip life. Hip life is a mix of it's something that I would call hip hop because it's just a hook and then a rap, but in our local dialect, and we call it hip life. So that is how it even started before everybody getting alongside with it and all. So it's changed from different phases from high life to hip life, what we call hip life, with the world knows so as Afrobeat. So it's had different coming from '99. It has the beat has also changed from doing a lot of hip hop to more commercial music to let like people dance instead of the deep message side will be there, but every time these artists put out an album or songs, they try to get people dancing to it. Africa we dance, so it's changed a lot.
So it's very clear that being in Ghana and being Ghanaian has really influenced your music. Like, is there any other ways that it's influenced your music?
Yes, if though I've been in Ghana, I'm one of the DJs from my country. I would say I'm the most traveled when you ask me because I get to go to other places. I just got back from Spain. I went to Denmark and I went to Miami and all that. So I get to listen to different songs from different and even in the clubs. When I'm in London, the way the songs are being played in London is not the same when you go to like Spain or Denmark. It depends on where you are. So I've been influenced by many different cultures because I get to travel to all these places, and it's something that I do when I get to any country. I try to find out what they listen to, and I'm open to new things. It's just not because I'm a commercial DJ doesn't mean that I'm always going to be stuck with commercial. I just every time I'm in a different country, I try to find out what they're listening to.
So like you can absorb some of that culture and then sort of put your own twist on it.
Yes, to all of it. Yes. Because
And
again we are going to be doing this for a long time, so if you're going to reach major numbers in future, you should be able to be open to listen to all kinds of music and which area is coming from and which area you want to promote your music.
I'm just sort of going back to Say I Do. Like I read that like a large part of like the message of the song is about the universality of love. Wondering what drew you to the topic.
First of all, with me and Sarkodie, it's we've been working for about 10 years now, and then people know Sarkodie to be like a hip hop person, all right. And when I started dropping single, everybody was wondering how come you're dropping singles with other artists and you're not dropping one with the artists that you work with. So we sat down to really talk and say, okay, people, I don't like to do the norm. I like to do different what people are not expecting me from me and all that. So we sat down to talk, and I'm like, let's do something that let's swerve everybody. Like people are expecting us to drop maybe a commercial song or a hip hop song or something like that. But let's do a timeless song, something that will be playing for like a long time, even if you're not relevant in the years to come. And we come up with Say I Do. Say I Do is like a wedding song, something that will always be there. People are getting married like every other weekend, so it's something that people will use. So that is how it's not something that we are looking at, blowing up the roof like something like that, but it's something that will be playing for such a long time.
So again, about Say I Do,
Mm.
I also read that you wanted to exemplify healthy relationships. And I was reading about some of the work you do with the DJ Mensah Foundation. Do you think about the impact your music can have when you're creating it?
The foundation, it has a different direction, and my music has a different direction as well, even though they are both linked to me. With the foundation, is something that I've always wanted to do. Even if I'm not doing music, I still want to give. I still want to give back. That is something that it's on my heart. Giving back always makes sense to me. Like I feel that this is the part that I can also to. And when everybody think about a foundation, they think about kids. But I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do for the aged, because there are so many aged or so many mature people that made like some mistakes in life that are there and they can't even feed themselves. They're in the hospital, they can't even pay their hospital bills. These are the people. These are people that I want to touch. So I spoke to my team about it, but it was so difficult. It's not like the kids have a home that you can go to. This is where everybody goes to the kids, but with the aged, there's no home for them. There's no place that you can go and say that, oh, we have maybe 50 people or 100 people that we have them at our homes. We need support. So this was the challenges that I was having, and this is why I never started in the past. So my team came back with the Buster home, with kids that have made mistakes, since they were young and they were not mature, they made serious mistakes that they were homing them. So we went back there, went to screen them and all that, give them back, So it's also another way of giving back. And then my music has a direction about, because I'm a DJ, definitely it's gonna have a different part.
Are there any other artists that you would want to make music with in the future?
Yes, I have a couple of them in the pipeline. And I'll be dropping them soon. I have a song with Kwame Eugene. I have a song with Samini. I have a song with Ice Prince. And I'm looking out to record with Davido and Wizkid as well. When it comes to the Afrobeat, the people that are really making waves with it. These are some of the top artists that I want to work with. I really want to work with Davido and Wizkid.
I was just curious, like reading about you. I was just wondering how you got sort of like the moniker or the name, like the Untouchable.
Well, I remember my when I started as a very young DJ. They were like serious DJs in the game, and I was so young, I was so tiny. Even though I was big, I was so young to be at the places that I was, because I was very good with what I was doing. So I ended up being with most of the top DJs at that time. So, like, when people see me and they introduce me and they go like, oh, this is a young DJ coming up, one of the DJs, Woodman, which I always give it to him, will be like, yo, he's a very young DJ, but you can't touch him, he's untouchable. So that is how I came with a slogan. So even though I was young, I was like everywhere with the top DJs, and it was like, oh, they always say, yo, this, even though he's young, don't play with him, he's untouchable. And then that's how the slogan came by.
What can we look forward to seeing from you in the future?
I always have a lot coming up. I always have a lot coming up. Um, for rounding up with with the album, which my team and I are really pushing to put it out this year, with a concert and then the pre-listening, which we are planning to do in October. It's always a very busy year for me, and I'm not stable, as I'm saying. Like, it's very difficult for me to be in one place. So we're doing all that together, and I still have an old school mixtape that is coming up. I always say it's one of my finest project I've been wanting to work on for like such a long time, and finally I'll be able to do it, which is going to come up by the end of this month. And I double up as a promoter as well, which I'm planning some events in December. I've got the mix, which is like coming up by the end of the month.
Okay, brilliant. Well, I can't wait to hear all the stuff you're coming out.
Yes.
Thank you so much for talking to me and taking the time.
Anytime. Thank you for having me.